You and I are not friends anymore. How dare you say that? I've never done that in my entire career. Volume automation is the lungs of your song. And so unfortunately, most artists prefer it. Hey, how you doing? I'm Oak Felder, and I'm here to rate these so-called mix tips. I don't know, wish me luck. Let's see how this goes.
Okay, Oak, rate these mix tricks. 10 for great, 0 for garbage, and anything in between. Question 1. Tracking vocals through real-time pitch correction plugins.
You know, I had an artist come in here one day and she was trying to cut a vocal and she just was not nailing it. And we ran her through real-time pitch correcting and her confidence just went through the roof after that. And so her performance eventually ended up being way better. A lot of times it's a psychological thing for people. So I'd rate that a 9.5.
High pass everything except bass instruments.
I absolutely hate that. I like noise. I feel like the soul and the juice and all that out of the music is in all the spaces that you can't control. I like all of that sloppy stuff sometimes. It adds to the soul and the vibe of a record. So no, don't do that shit. 1.15.
Always mix with reference tracks.
7. It's all right. You kind of kill your own creativity when you put yourself in a little bit of a box. It can be useful, especially when the artist is looking for something specific. You know, as a matter of course, you shouldn't always strive to do that. 7. I probably do it about half of the time. So really 5 to 6. We'll call it 6. 7. We're gonna call it 7. 6. We're gonna call it 6.
Recording vocals in sections instead of full passes.
Oh man. 4. I don't like recording vocals in sections. Unfortunately, most artists prefer it. It's very rare that I'll have a singer that wants to sing a whole song all the way down. One of the best songs I ever recorded was a song called Begging and Pleading by Brandy. We were working together one day and I did something that really pissed her off that day. She got really mad at me that day and took her energy out on the microphone. I only got one pass of that song, and that was the pass that ended up coming out. Best recording I ever got in my life. So yeah, I'd prefer to get the whole thing.
Mixing in mono.
2. Why are we mixing in mono? I mean, yeah, we're cool. 1. You're so cool, you mix in mono. No, man, don't mix in mono. Mix in stereo. People listen in stereo, mix in stereo.
Prioritizing creative performance over technical perfection.
8. I think at the end of the day, how good a thing is all about the performances involved. You can be technically capable of downloading MIDI chords and putting them in your track and making them sound pristine and beautiful, but I will smoke you if I sit at a piano and play it myself. No, I think performance is more important than technical capability. Although, it does help to be technically proficient.
Checking your mix in the car.
I've never done that in my entire career, so I don't think it's something you have to do. Have some good reference monitors in your studio, man. Yeah, 2.5. Your car speakers are gonna be just as crap as any other speakers that you might be listening to. I mean, it's cool to listen in your car because that's where you listen to most of your music. How about this? Instead of doing that, why don't you just get used to the space that you mix in like you're used to your car? That way you don't have to walk out in the cold to listen to a mix. Now I'm gonna give that one a 1. I'm changing my mind. This is downgrading.
Mixing through your master chain as early as possible.
Jason Joshua gave me that piece of advice. He told me that a long time ago. Set your master chain, mix through it. As a matter of fact, a lot of times I'll do my production through a master chain. It'll go that far because I want to see what the end result is gonna be, and it saves you so much time. You're not tweaking after the fact. I'll give that 8.75. Yeah, because I just want to give it a decimal number.
Never boost EQ, only cut.
Oh man, I'm not disciplined enough to follow that one, so. Not that I disagree with it, so I can't give it a 1 or 2. I don't think it's a terrible idea. I just don't do it. So 5? 5. My gut is definitely not maybe saying maybe not.
If the mix sounds good on AirPods, it'll sound good on anything.
Yes, that's 10 out of 10. Man, I've been surprised at how flat an AirPod sounds. I've mixed records sitting on an airplane with my AirPods in. The only thing that really kind of gets you is that it's hard to mix when the left and right channels are isolated. Like a lot of people aren't realizing that when you listen on speakers, it's the intermix of all the frequencies that create like a true sort of field that you can mix with. But the AirPods are so flat, they get you to a good place and then you can finish off after if you need to.
Stereo widening plugins are essential.
3, I would say that stereo imaging plugins are convenient, but not essential. You can achieve a lot of the effects that the stereo imaging plugins can achieve without the plugin. Ultimately, all those plugins are doing are applying as an algorithm basic concepts that we had to learn how to master in analog studios. I grew up in an analog studio, and we still had to learn how to achieve these like stereo effects. Like the Haas effect is a very simple one, and then there's more sort of phase-based stuff. And you can do it without a plugin if you learn the science behind it. But it's convenient, you know what I mean?
Parallel compression.
7.5 to 8. Although I would argue that a lot of the newer generation of producers don't even know what that is. To them, it's the wet dry mix on the compressor. And so, the wet dry mix is basically just kind of added an element that makes it easy to do it, and they don't know that's what they're doing. I think parallel compression is dope, especially when you go too far with the compression and then you set your mix all the way down to like 15% wet dry. Oh, I live for that vibe.
Committing effects on the way in instead of keeping everything dry.
6. I would only do that with 2 effects. My outboard compressor, because you want the vibe and the color or whatever you want. But I would also do that with my pitch correction plugin, like whether you're using Waves Tune or whatever. Like, because the thing is that I will print all the pitch correction stuff on everything except my lead vocal. I don't mind printing it on my backgrounds. Print it, get it out the way. I think people are too precious about that kind of stuff.
Always mix at low volumes.
3, which is to say, don't be in a position where you never mix at low volumes, but you should mix at, say it with me, all volumes, huh? Let's hear what it sounds like loud now. Let's hear what it sounds like sort of less loud. Let's hear what it sounds like quiet. Let's not constrain ourselves to specific things just to say that we're cool enough to do that. None of us are Dave Pensato.
How important is volume automation?
10. Volume automation is the lungs of your song. Loud is an exhalation, quiet is inhaling. And you can control the ebb and flow of your song with volume automation. Quiet verses, even quieter pre-choruses, loud hook. 10, 100%.
Starting a production with a drum beat.
5. I do that half the time. You get stuck sometimes though, because if you do a drum sequence that feels like a very specific thing, melodically it kind of pushes you in that direction. You end up making something that just sounds kind of typical and regular, which is cool. Typical and regular is fine. Even I go to McDonald's every once in a while. Can I mention McDonald's? Every once in a while you need something Reggie, which is cool. But half the time I'm interested in something more unique. And I might, get a bass flute and see where that takes the production. So half the time, 5.
Gain staging is essential.
7. Gain staging is important. I mean, you want to know where you are in your mix, right? And if you're not watching your headroom, you're gonna lose control of it eventually and you're gonna miss something. But then sometimes I think people can be so nitpicky about gain staging and making sure there's headroom in the production as you're making it. And sometimes a sculpture has to be a little messy before you clean it up. You know what I mean? And sometimes there has to be stuff all over the floor and there's gotta be, trash in the room. And it's messy, it's a sloppy process, creativity. So it's like gain staging is very important for creating. Now for mixing, obviously that's a different story. Gain staging is bread and butter, and stuff like that. But I'm a producer. I don't necessarily have to eat bread and butter all the time. I like steak.
Color coding your session before starting a mix.
Man, 10. It's so important, and I never do it. I'm so disorganized. I acknowledge that I have faults. I do. I acknowledge. Like if you look at my sessions, sometimes they can look pretty crazy. I have a system that no one else can interpret. It's really important to be able to color code certain things. Color coding for me happens when I'm getting takes. Like if there's an artist in the booth and they're giving me the same take of a section and then they give me something crazy, I'll color code that one take and go, gotta remember to look at that. Other than that, I'm not very organized. Not to say that I shouldn't be. So 10, I 100% agree with it. I just don't do it.
Delay is a more important effect than reverb.
Woo! Wow. Why would you say that, man? And see, we were getting along so famously, dog. Like, yo, I like you and stuff. Now, I don't know now, man. I don't know, bro. Like, no, man, delay is more. Come on, get out of here with that. Delay is more. Get out of here, man. Okay. If you've ever listened to Atmos mixes or spatial audio, the thing you notice is if you're an engineer, producer, you go, oh, this sounds like my mix, except it has more reverb. And the reason for that is because the spatial audio is trying to emulate the resonances and ambiences heard in a real space. Reverb is our path to reality. Delay is cool though, right? I like delay. It's useful, you know what I mean? You can make things repeat, whatever. But reverb is our path to reality as it relates to sculpting music. If I want somebody, it's a trick that I have when I'm recording a vocal and the girl's voice is a female vocal and her voice is really light and she's saying something super intimate. I always have it dry as a bone because I want to simulate closeness. I want people to think this person is right here in my ear. But if it's somebody with a big voice, if I'm recording Demi Lovato, then go to the other side of the Grand Canyon. I can make you sound like that too with reverb. And you would add a little bit of delay, yeah, for function, but what? That's just supporting the reverb. So yeah, reverb. And you and I are not friends anymore. How dare you say that? One. I really hope you enjoyed listening to my cynical view on some of these so-called tips. I know some people are gonna disagree with some of the things I said. Let me know one way or another. I really wanna see comment-wise. So let's have a conversation. Come on, let's open it up.